I'm going to remove this window because I don't need it anymore, so we can see our beautiful rig. Let's make it pretty. The first thing I'm going to do is make sure that we take care of all the layers. So our root bone here, actually I'll turn the names back on so you can see. So our root bone, I'm going to move that with the M key. I'm going to move it to layer 16 down here. And the base spin, now this one's not going to be a control in either of these ones, but they are deform bones. So I'm going to move it to this layer here to keep it out of the way. These arm crane bones here, I don't want them to be on layer 1. I want them to be on layer 2 because most of the animation that the animator is going to do is going to be with this control bone here. So I want to put that one on layer 1 without open and close. So this one's going to be on layer 1, this one's going to be on layer 1, and this one is a mechanism bone, so I'm going to stick it on this layer here, second from the end on the top row. All right, so that is my layers done. Now I'll turn these back on so you can see everything that we've done. Boom, boom. Okay, so now we're going to add our shapes. Now our root shape down here, I'm keeping all the shapes in the file. So I'm going to go to the custom object. Let's choose our, oh, I can't move it at the same time. So let's just do this, widget root. Boom, that's looking good. Now in the original, I had shapes for our arms here and the spin, but they're not necessary. But I will do this one. So clamp 1. Clamp 1 is going to be clamp 1. Boom. Yep, that's good. Clamp 2 is going to be, whoops, clamp 2 is going to be clamp 2.L. And let's do this one as well. So clamp 1.R is going to be clamp 1.R. Clamp 2.R is going to be clamp 2.R. Our close up here is going to be, what did I call it in my original? Oh, I must have missed it. So let's just add it now and I'll make sure I save it for you guys. So I'm going to choose a circle for this guy, create, that is too big. So let's make it 0.2. Let's even go smaller than that, 0.15. That looks good. I'll save that for you guys. And the widget control, this is going to be for our control here. Custom object, boom, widget control. Now there's a chance it's not going to match up quite the same for you, and I think this is the case as well. So I'm going to make this smaller by jumping into edit mode and just shrinking this down a little bit. And then when we jump back to pose mode, oh, too much. Just go a little bit bigger. Put the difference. There we go. That's looking a little bit better. Now, I originally designed this when things were in a different spot. So I'm actually going to reposition this one as well. So I want this one to sit inside here. So I'm just going to give myself a little bit of a mark. That point there. Now when we jump into edit mode, I'm going to drag it up to that spot. And let's have a look at my value. So what is it? Let's make it 7.2. 7.2 and there's Z 7.2. So now when we jump back, oh, still a little bit high. G, Z, down just the tiniest bit. Bang. Good enough. Now when we move that, it is going to close, and that gives us a visual indication of where it's going to stop. Only a few more things to tidy up here. We can do the bone colors if you like. You've seen that already, so that's I don't need to show you how to do that. Now the one thing that is important is that we want this bone to actually track towards our target here. The way that we're going to do that, I was going to use a constraint, but I think I can just use straight parenting. So this is my mechanism bone. So if I just parent this mechanism to that guy, so jump into edit mode for that. Control P, keep offset. Let's test this. You'll notice that yes. So now the crane arm, the end doesn't stretch past. So there we go. I was going to use a constraint to make it target there. So you can ignore that part of the schematic. That's good. All I need to do now is make this control always look like it's in this position. And that is really easy. Let's go over to the bone settings. we've got our override transforms. We want to click in here and we want to choose the control mechanism bone. Now, when we move this, boom, it's not going to go past. Well, actually, it is going to go past. You can see our name is moving over here, but it's visually not going to go past there. I'm going to turn off any of the layers that we don't need. So we don't need the mechanism layer and we don't need the deformation layer. So I'm going to leave it to you to actually do the bone colors to make it look all pretty. Feel free to add the colors if you like. So there we have it, the completed rig. Congratulations. All right, and just as an added bonus, I just want to show you how to add an extra bone to be our prop bone. Now, what is a prop bone? I mean that as in picking up a prop, not short for property or anything like that. So this is a crane arm rig designed to pick up boxes and whatnot. So sometimes it's really good to add a bone to the rig where you can constrain those objects to. So I want to show you how to add that, as well as show you a little bit of a bonus Python scripting thing, which you can easily add to your rig. Okay, so let's add this extra bone. So I'm going to do that in edit mode. And this, I'll turn the names of my bones back on. So bone, oops. The data tab, turn on the names. So here I've got the control bone here. I'm going to just duplicate this one and just position it around here. I'm also going to rename it. So this one's going to be prop and it is going to be a control. So I'm going to make it a capital letter. And what layer do I want this one to be on? I'm going to put it on layer 1. So I don't want it to be part of the main control, but when you want to animate the claw arms, that's the layer that I want it to show up on. Okay, so that is that. If I jump into pose mode, you'll see that it has copied all the settings from this bone here. So you're like, where's it gone? It's not gone anywhere. It's just using the same settings. So I'm going to delete the override and you'll see it's now displaying here. And I'm also going to delete this custom object and I'm going to apply the other custom object that I've already built, the widget prop, and click, which is a box. I'm also going to parent this. So jump over to edit mode. And what bone do I want it to be parented to? Well, I don't want it to be parented to the root, so I'm going to clear that. I actually want it to follow along with all the other geometry as part of the crane arm, the end of the crane arm, and that is going to be the control mechanism. So if I constrain it to that, it's going to work the way that I want. Okay, jump back into pose mode and let's test this out. So basically, this is a prop that can move around, and if we constrain things to this, we can move it freely of the arm there. So it's a very handy thing to do. So that is the prop bone. Now, one other final thing that I want to show you. Over here in the scripting tab, you can see that I've got a Python script called crane arm UI 280. And this is just a really simple Python script to display some of those bone layers in your UI. So I'm just going to run it and then go over here, and nothing is working yet. And that is because of this little option here. It just needs to have this property attached to our rig and it will display. So I'm going to copy this. So I'm going to select everything inside the quotes, don't get the quotes, and then just jump back to the layout. And then if I go to the armature data tab, down the bottom, you can see custom properties. So I'm going to click here to add, and then we go edit this. I want this to be called rig_ID. Now the spelling is very important. And then I'm going to paste in to the property value what I've copied from into the buffer, the crane arm _rig. If I hit enter and then OK, you'll notice that it now pops up here. And what does this do? This just turns off all the layers that we had. So this is going to be your X-ray. This one's the root control. This one's going to enable the claw and the property. And this one is going to be your head controls. So you can turn them on and off whenever you like. But like I said in the first video, the two things you need to make sure of is that you've placed all the bones on the same layers as me, and that you also need to make sure that you attach that custom property to the armature data. That is, give it the property called rig_ID with the value of the crane arm rig, and the spelling needs to be exactly the same. Oh, and obviously don't forget to run the script by pressing the little play button in the script window. But this is some advanced stuff, so if you can't get it working, don't worry, it's just a little bit of an added extra. There we go, that is the end. Hope you learnt a lot, but I'll see you in the next one.